What's up, nerds? My name's Cory Bergeron. You're watching Cory Bergeron Recordings, and we're back with a brand new video. Recording acoustic guitar can be kind of a tricky thing. I just finished recording acoustic guitar for 4 songs over the course of the weekend, and I got some great results. I also got these results with a simple and relatively affordable setup. So in this video, I'm going to talk about all things recording acoustic guitar, and I guarantee that you will learn something. But before we jump into that, if you plan on releasing music anytime soon, I recommend using the service DistroKid. DistroKid is a service that allows you to get your music on all the major streaming services. This includes Spotify, Apple Music, and 150 plus other places. For just a low annual fee, you can upload as much music as you want. You can keep 100% of your royalties. It's a good thing. So if you plan on signing up, consider using my link www.distrokid.com/VIP/whatsupnerds. And you will save 7% when you sign up. It's good. It supports the channel and you save money. It's a good thing. Okay, let's talk about recording acoustic guitars. So first off, the gear I just used to record the acoustic guitar was a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 interface. I used a Shure SM7B microphone, and I also used this Taylor GS Mini acoustic guitar, which I borrowed from my friend, Mr. Red Light Blue.
Hi.
Now, if you're an experienced engineer, you're probably thinking the Shure SM7B is not your go-to choice for microphone when recording an acoustic guitar, and I agree, but it's all I had at the time. I've recorded acoustic guitars in beautiful sounding studios with state-of-the-art equipment, as well as I've recorded acoustic guitars in basements like this. Some things that I think are often overlooked when recording acoustic guitar are the room that it's recorded in, as well as the microphone choice, or more specifically, the type of microphone. For this instance, I recorded the acoustic guitars in my basement here, and this basement has 7-foot ceilings and laminate floors, which is the perfect recipe for nasty comb filtering, so I did my best to eliminate the room. A friend of mine gave me some material that was recycled from cubicle dividers, and it honestly worked as a great baffle, eliminating unwanted reflections. So now that we have the room sorted out, let's talk about microphone. When I'm recording acoustic guitars, I would prefer to use a dynamic microphone or a pencil condenser microphone over a large diaphragm condenser microphone, especially if you're in an environment like this. In my experience, I've gotten the best results from using a pencil condenser microphone, as you get a nice focused sound that's really tight, but you also get the sensitivity of using a condenser microphone. When you're not in an ideal environment, such as this, I find using a large diaphragm condenser microphone is great for picking up the acoustic guitar, but it also picks up a bunch of other junk because it's so sensitive. My furnace is like just over there, and I don't want to record it. So now that we've talked about the room and the type of microphone, let's talk about mic placement, and this is something that I try not to overcomplicate. Basically, I will sit in front of the microphone, I will line up the 12th fret with the microphone, place it roughly a foot away, and record and listen to how it sounds, and usually that gives me what I want. If I want there to be more low end to my recording, I'll move the microphone closer to the sound hole. If I want it to have less low end, I'll move it farther away from the sound hole. Once you like the sound of the position of the microphone relative to the performer, I would recommend to grab some tape and put a little tape outline next to the feet of the performer, so if they go to use the washroom halfway through a session or whatever, and they come back, they know exactly where they were, and then you can do multiple takes over the course of the day and comp between them, and the tone of the acoustic guitar won't change where, you know, on take 3, the performer was turned a little bit too far to the left, and it's super bass heavy, and then in take 4, he was turned the other way, and there's no low end in it, and it makes your job comping a take together a nightmare. At the start of this video, I said recording acoustic guitar can be a bit of a tricky thing, and that's because there are a lot of factors that can ruin an acoustic guitar take. So let's break these factors down. The first thing is click bleed. You do not want to have click bleed in your recording. That's super common. Obviously, you're going to want to be using headphones when you're recording. I only had these open back headphones, which means that the sound comes out the sides. It's kind of an interesting concept if you've never used open back headphones, but you can put these on, you can listen to music, and people around you will think that you're blasting music because it just comes out the sides, unlike closed back headphones, which you would normally see in a studio. Ideally, I would be wearing closed back headphones, but I didn't have my pair on me, so I used these, which made click bleed much more of a problem. When I'm recording acoustic guitar, I like to replace the click track with a kick drum, preferably a nice low-end woofy kind of kick drum that doesn't have a lot of attack to it. instead of having your stock Pro Tools click track bleeding through your headphones and going into the microphone, if you replace that click track with a kick drum, the kick drum doesn't have that high end that's going to bleed out of the headphones into the microphone, and you'll still be able to play in time. And this trick actually works wonders, so I definitely recommend trying this out. Another factor that you want to address is you want to make sure your performer isn't tapping his foot. It's very natural when you're playing to be tapping your foot, but when you tap your foot, it makes the floor shake, which makes the microphone stand shake, which makes the microphone shake, which is not good. And if you're tapping your foot loud enough, there's going to be a bunch of vibration going through the microphone, which is going to ruin the take. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that your headphone cable is not sitting on top of the acoustic guitar, so while you're playing and moving, you hear it slapping the acoustic guitar. A solution for that would be to put it down the back of your shirt if you have enough slack, and then you never have to worry about that cable touching the acoustic guitar. And then another factor, which I've seen ruin acoustic guitar takes before, is you want to make sure you're sitting on a sturdy chair. You don't want to be sitting on a wobbly chair that's super creaky, because if you do, you're going to hear it every single time that you readjust or you shuffle around, and that's not good. You want to have a nice, clean acoustic guitar take, so make sure you're sitting on a sturdy chair that is not super creaky. So lastly, there's two more things left, and these are arguably some of the most important things. When you're recording acoustic guitar, you want to make sure that you're recording a quality acoustic guitar. It says Taylor on it. You know, you can't go wrong with that. When you're recording any sort of acoustic instrument, whether it be an acoustic guitar, a piano, or a drum kit, basically you're throwing a microphone in front of a source. And if that source doesn't sound good to begin with, there's no EQ or compressor that you can use in the world that's gonna, dramatically change the sound of this acoustic guitar to make it sound like some high-end acoustic guitar. So make sure that you are recording a quality instrument. If you don't have one, borrow one from a friend. On top of this, when you're specifically recording acoustic guitar, you wanna make sure that these strings are lively. I know I've made a video on this channel where I compared old guitar strings to new guitar strings on an electric guitar. And when you're recording, distorted electric guitar, it has less of an effect. But when you're recording acoustic guitar, if your strings are baked in Dorito dust, it will be dull and it will not sound as bright and lively as it should. So make sure that you have relatively fresh strings on when you are recording your acoustic guitar. And then lastly, you want to make sure that the acoustic guitar is played well. This might sound obvious, but you want to play it in a way that it records well. The first thing I address when I'm recording acoustic guitar is I actually have a large variety of picks on me at all times, and these are all different thicknesses. Generally, when I'm recording acoustic guitar, I like to use thinner picks over thicker picks. I find that thinner picks have a little bit more give to them, so when you strum all the way through the instrument, you get a nice even sound across all 6 strings, whereas when you use a thick pick, I find it really scrapes through the strings more, and it's more likely to pull them out of tune. So I like to use thin picks. It really does depend on whatever the desired outcome is, but just as a general rule, I will gravitate towards thin picks. I find the more experienced you are as a guitar player, the more you'll be kind of in tune and knowing the nuances of the performance and what's going to translate. I actually found myself this weekend playing softer than I normally would on the acoustic guitar because the strings just kind of buzzed less when I was playing softer, and everything just sounded a little bit more cleaner and intimate. So it's up to the performer to figure out how that acoustic guitar sounds best. So to recap, if you deliver a great performance on the acoustic guitar, it's a great sounding acoustic guitar with fresh strings, you mic it up, you eliminate the room, and you make sure that the chair isn't squeaking, there's no click track bleed, or that the headphone cable isn't like slapping against the guitar while you're playing, you will achieve a great sounding acoustic guitar recording, and that's a good thing. That was basically the point of this video. So I hope you learned something watching this video. If you haven't yet, go down and join my Discord server. I like to talk about all things audio production in the server. If you plan on releasing music anytime soon, I recommend to check out DistroKid. My link for that is also in the description. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and that is basically it for the video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Create more, create more, create more.